What's going on, everybody? Rudy Rodriguez Show Mott here. Impromptu live session. Hope everyone's doing great. This is a video that I plan on recording, but I think it could go longer, so I don't want to do a hour-long response to a video. Seems like whenever I do those lengthy responses, they don't get watched a lot. So I figure a live would actually be seen more, which is obviously always the goal. I want people to hear what I have to say about it. I kind of held off on it for a minute and I'm ready to roll on this because this whole thing with the exit interview of Caitlin Clark, a lot of people ignored some things, in my opinion, from what I saw. That was just a bunch of word salad. Her exit interview was an absolute freaking joke. It was a joke. That exit interview was a joke. No one asked a hardball question. No one she she did expose Indiana for lying. I don't even know if she realized it, but she exposed them for lying. And again, there was a lot of nothing. There's a lot of nothing. I didn't even see Sophie's podcast, so I guess I'll have to watch that, but I didn't even see that. The whole thing to me, and I'm gonna play the video and we're gonna do the video all the way through. And I'll chop in and I'll stop it and then comment as we go. But I guess I will have to check out Sophie's podcast to see what she had to say or whatever she said, because I have absolutely no idea. I'm being real. I've honestly checked out of the WNBA space. I didn't watch a single finals game. Mentally, just I don't care anymore, man. I just don't care anymore. And I think I owe it to the people that follow me and subscribe that I still provide content, but it's going to be different. It's going to be different. The channel's going to be different. You've already seen that I'm doing a lot of Miami Hurricanes and college football, baseball, combat sports. I will be doing the Miami Heat from a local perspective. And I still will cover Caitlin Clark. But the WNBA, not interested. I saw a video today from this kid Convo with Carter, young guy, and he's done. He actually said himself he's done watching the WNBA. And man, I thought I was watching myself speak because he said everything that I've been thinking and I've been saying for months, except that I continued to watch. I continued to produce some content on the stuff that was going on. But realistically, I felt everything he said. And he's a young kid. I don't know how old he is. He's probably like 20, maybe, if he's that old. But I feel everything he said. But that interview, that interview is just like it's just another example of why this shit is the WNBA fatigue has set in. The fatigue is real. I was so happy when that series ended up in a sweep. Can you imagine you go do your first finals series for 7 games and it ends in 4? Like it ends in 4. I mean, it's kind of wild. You wanted to get more coverage, and I don't even know what the final ratings were for. When the hell was the last game? I don't even remember. Was it Friday? Was it Friday? I haven't seen a video yet from Ben yet. Let me see. No, I don't see anything from 10:10 yet. Yeah, I don't see anything yet. So it's like, who the hell cares anymore? Oh, I don't even know what Sophie said, but I probably can get 10 minutes out of it. But I'm going to play the video and y'all can let me know y'all thoughts. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. It is a 20-minute exit interview. It was word salad, powder puff, garbage. She said nothing. She said nothing, but she said something. So let me play this video for y'all and I'll comment on it as we go. Hmm. And before I play it, she didn't even answer some of the questions. Just saying, she didn't actually answer questions that were asked. That's kind of also where I have a bit of an issue. Questions got asked, but they weren't really given answers. Some of them. Because yeah, well, let's just play it. Let's play it.
Caitlin, what's the status of your health right now, and what specifically injury-wise between the ankle and the groin was it that prevented you from coming back this year?
I'm going to stop it right there. This guy brings up ankle and groin. When did she hurt her ankle? When did she hurt her ankle? Did the Indiana Fever ever announce one time that she hurt her ankle? So what I just did any of y'all? I never saw a video where the Indiana Fever announced that she sprained her ankle. Do you remember any time they did? When did they do that? You mean when the kick to the foot, where people were saying the coach hurt her ankle? When did they do it? When did they say she sprained her ankle? Who reported it? Who reported it? They did not report that she sprained her ankle. Was it reported that Caitlin Clark sprained her ankle in practice? Bone bruise, not a sprained ankle. It was a bone bruise. There is a massive difference. Bone bruise. I'm looking at it right here, August 20th. It was reported as a bone bruise. Man, it happened a month, but Indiana never reported it. You never saw that on the injury list, on the injury report. It was groin. It was always the groin. In the wake of the reported bone bruise, see, someone found out and someone exposed it. Someone exposed it. They never came out and said, Caitlin Clark has a bone bruise. Caitlin Clark sprained her ankle. The team never said that. They never had a press conference about that. Why not? Did Stephanie White ever say anything about that? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying a reporter didn't find out and leak it or say something about it, but it was never reported. They were lying. It was never on the injury report. It was always groin. That's what I'm saying. Why didn't Stephanie White ever say something? Why didn't the GM ever say something? Why didn't the president ever say something? They continued with the bullshit. But let's quit. I'm sorry. Hey, if he reported it behind a paywall, again, I'm saying Indiana never had a press conference. They got press conferences every day. You never heard it said in a press conference. When? To whom? When was there a press conference? When was there a press conference? I'm asking the question. If you can't show me the link, I can't find a link for it. I do not remember it. I remember the bone bruise. I remember the speculation of the coach kicking her foot. But that's not what gets said here. Take a listen.
Yeah, honestly, I've been working really hard to get back to full health, and I feel like probably over these last couple of weeks is when I've probably started feeling my best. Obviously, my ankle kind of didn't allow me to really see where my groin was at. It was, I think, my second full court workout back when we were in, I don't even know what month that would have been, but I just went to kind of make a move, and unfortunately my ankle like completely rolled all the way forward, and probably one of the worst sprains I've dealt with. But
What'd she say? Was that a bone bruise or a sprain? She just said one of the worst sprains I've ever dealt with. In the second full court workout against air, she sprained her ankle against air because her groin was probably still not 100%. And on top of that, again, when did they report? This was probably a grade 2 sprain. I'm saying the fever. I keep saying the fever, the Indiana fever. When you're talking about a sprain, why aren't you on crutches? Why aren't you in a boot? Why aren't you in a boot? Why aren't you on crutches? So either it was done, it happened, and she as she just said, or they said no, don't put on the boot, don't use crutches, deal with it, because we don't want the people to know that you're not playing the rest of the year. If we had seen that woman on crutches with a boot on, are you kidding? The place would have erupted. She's been shooting jump shots, but she just suffered the worst sprained ankle in her life. Word salad. You're never going to get the truth. They're all lying. They literally told you a bone bruise. Again, told you a bone bruise. I keep harping on that. Jumping up. You're right, Marlon. By the way, appreciate everyone jumping on board on this impromptu live. Duke, Heather, Dave, Marlon, Lester, Mason, just saying, Jay, White Gold, Nick, Anna, Wyland, Marisol, Streak 9, Eric, CWE, Arthur, Robert, let me see what I see. NVIDIA. Again, appreciate you, man. Appreciate all y'all jumping on board. But let's continue to play this. Like I said, I'm talking about the team reporting it. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about a reporter reporting it. We never saw. There was never an interview. It got leaked, and he found out, and he said what he said. But did he ever say it was an ankle sprain? I'm just asking the question. I never heard anyone say it was an ankle sprain. Again, she just said it was the worst ankle sprain of her life.
I've just tried to stay positive the best I can, and but I honestly feel like I'm in a really good spot. And people don't always realize. I mean, people that are kind of in the basketball world, or whether if you're in other sports too, like when you're injured, it's honestly more work than when you're playing. So I've spent so much time here in this building this season, just trying to get healthy and trying to kind of just get back to 100%. And honestly, I think that, if I never was, I obviously played that game in Connecticut, and that's where I kind of felt some more pain in my right groin, and then obviously had some tests and other things done. And, there was no decision of like, this is the end of my season. I had full intention of returning. And I think in a way that was probably positive for me, because that's how I approached every single day. I came in here like I was going to play, I was going to get back out on the court, and it probably would have been even more devastating and crushing knowing that I was never going to be able to put my uniform back on for the rest of the season. But you just approach it like every single day you attack and get better, and it'll be the same for me going forward. Like that work doesn't stop. And I think I think I've had really good perspective on it all, and that's probably what I'm most proud of too.
Again, now let's bring up a comment she made where she said she spent so much time in the building trying to get better. Are you serious? When did she get injured again? The Connecticut game, right, people? The Connecticut game? All right, let's go take a look back. Again, all that time in the building, right? All that time. So much time in the building. She got hurt when? Connecticut. Was that June 17th? Sorry. Yeah, was that June 17th? No, it was July 15th. July 15th. July 15th. They went to New York, Chicago, Dallas, Seattle, LA, Phoenix, Connecticut, Minnesota, LA, Golden State, Phoenix, Washington. She missed one road game because someone died, right? She went to some funeral, right? I don't remember which game it was, but from July 15th to September 9th, she went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 road games in 2 months. She was on 20 flights. She was on 20 flights. Doug, this is more than that. This is about the entire, it's a whole cover up. I don't know if you just jumped in, but it's a whole cover up. She just said that she had the worst ankle sprain of her life and was never on crutches, never in a boot. She went to 12 out of 13 road games. So when was she in the building? So because she couldn't have been in the facility for 12 of those days. I never said she owed us an explanation. She chose to do an exit interview. She didn't have to do that either. But she did it. People have commented about it, and I've held off doing a video on it, and I just decided today I'm going to do it live. I'm doing it live because realistically, I know it'll be a lengthy video, and I don't want to, have an hour and a half video on a recording. So, again, I'm asking, what staff is just for her? What staff is just for her? They've been on the road 12 games. They've been on flights all over the place. Flights are not helping swelling. You swell up on flights. There's literally science that backs it up. Science backs up that flights don't help injuries. But there's been a massive lie going on for 2.5 months. And again, this isn't about a gym or teams are not giving you their gym for Caitlin Clark to get workouts in. Was she working out at 24/7 Fitness or whatever, Amped or LA Fitness or where is she working out? So flying is bad for injuries. And yet she just said she was in the facility all the time, but you were on the road all the time. You should have been in the facility all the time. You shouldn't have gone on the road games. You should have stayed home. It's not your job to sell tickets in road games. It's not your job to sign autographs at road games. It's not. It's not even your job to do it at home games, but you play there, so you're going to do it. And the fact that you do it at road games is really nice of you. But when your ankle is fucked up and your groin is fucked up, according to her, again, the worst ankle sprain of her life. She sprained her ankle, the worst ankle sprain of her life, in a 5-on-0 workout, on an air workout, competing against nobody. But let's continue.
Hey, Caitlin, good to see you. Obviously, there's been a lot kind of going on this week.
What?
I may have heard some things. Wanted to see after Nafisa's comments and what she alleged that Kathy Engelbert had said specifically about you, what your thoughts were on that, and have a follow-up.
Well, I mean, first of all, I have great respect for Fee, and I think she might.
Why do you have great respect for Fee? Why? Why do you have respect for someone who's never spoken out on your behalf? Just curious. Let's continue.
Made a lot of very valid points. And, I think what people need to understand, we need great leadership in this time across all levels. This is straight up the most important moment in this league's history. Well, this league's been around for 25 plus years, and this is a moment we have to capitalize on. So that's honestly what I would say. I think there's, Fee said it all with what she said, and I think the points she made were very valid.
Had
What were the points that Fee made? They were very valid. She finally mentioned your name at least. I mean, at least this is the first time that Nafisa Collier's ever mentioned Caitlin Clark's name. I would have loved to have heard Caitlin Clark say, you know what? Where was that energy last year? Where was the energy last year where I was getting clotheslined? So you get hurt because on a clean play, you get your pocket picked, you roll your ankle, and you get hurt. Fine, sucks. The next day, you're making a fucking speech, or was it 2 days later? I don't remember. It was the next day, within a couple of days, she's making a fucking speech. By the way, a speech that was not spoken about with the other leadership in the players' union. Can you imagine some? She's not even the president. She's the vice president. And she all of a sudden decides that she's going to give a speech in her exit interview and light up Kathy Engelbert and all that stuff. But have you ever heard a member of a union in sports go off? Have you ever heard go off like that, just off the cuff? I mean, I've never heard. I've watched sports my entire life. Maybe some of y'all have. I've never and yeah, she included Angel Reese as an equal to Caitlin Clark. She included Paige Beckers, who wasn't even in the league. She was still in college when she had that conversation with Kathy Engelbert. So tell me, where have you ever seen a VP of a union just say, fuck all y'all, I'm going to say whatever I want, and then tell you, guess what? It's not because I got hurt yesterday. Fuck, of course it was. Because if you hadn't gotten hurt that day and you'd won the game, you'd still be playing. If you were you'd still be playing. Because she got hurt. Okay, so she got hurt, day off, they played, they lost. The next day she did that speech. She hadn't gotten hurt, they probably would have won game 4. Probably would have won game 4. Because they dominated most of that game until the fourth quarter. And that speech never happens. Again, and White Gold, you hit it hard right there. You'd be toast. Because the only person that ever speaks publicly in commission meetings that I've seen in Florida, in Broward County, where I live, or even Dade County, where I used to live, is the president of the teachers union speaking, not the VP, not a secretary, not a treasurer. The president speaks. And you damn sure don't do it without it being cleared with everybody before you do it. It wasn't cleared. She didn't even follow chain of command and protocol. I mean, it's crazy. If I'm Brianna Stewart, if I'm Nneka Ogwumike, I'm calling people like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Have you lost your shit? You can't do that. But again, you respect Fee for what she said and all that blasé bullshit. Okay. But last year, when you were getting clotheslined, she never opened her fucking mouth.
you heard that story from her before
No.
she said it publicly? And then have you spoken with Kathy Engelbert or heard from her at all since then?
No.
Thank you.
Go to Chloe, then we'll jump over to Lou.
Oh, I'm going to use your name in the speech, but I'm not going to call you first. I'm going to use your name in the speech multiple times. but I'm not going to call you first. I'm not going to call you. What do y'all think of that? She name drops Caitlin Clark, but didn't call Caitlin Clark. She did what she cried about Kathy Engelbert doing. Kathy didn't call me when I got hurt. Did you call Caitlin before you name dropped her to further your fucking speech and further your cause? Come on, man. Again, if I'm Caitlin Clark, I say, yeah, and I would have appreciated a phone call before you start name dropping me. But again, Caitlin Clark doesn't like confrontation. She's giving you a lot of word salad, bro.
Chloe's done. Yeah, just with working back to full health, Steph mentioned that it was kind of baby steps and getting back and making sure you don't lose what you've worked on this season. Just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for, and I need to be able to find some runs and some ways to play 5-on-5, just so I can kind of get that feel back. And but more than anything, I think my main focus is really just getting my body healthy. And once we get back to 5-on-5, like just being able to test my body and make sure I know it's in a good spot where it's going to be able to hold up with everything that, we think we've corrected or we think we've worked on, to be able to know I'm in a really good spot there. And, when you go through injuries, especially in my scenario where it's been a few of the reoccurring kind of bouncing around, which isn't necessarily uncommon in my situation just because of compensation, and when you're dealing with things in that groin area, that just is kind of how it can go sometimes. I think it's important that you can become confident in your body again, and that's for anybody that goes through injury. So that's probably going to be my main focus is, just feeling 100% again, and then obviously, having that confidence in my body too.
Confidence in your body, getting back to 100%. How about you sit the fuck down and lay on a bed for a week or a couple of weeks or a month? How about you chill out, stop exercising, just do therapy on your injuries, your worst sprained ankle in your life, your groin? How about you do that first and not worry about picking up a basketball? How about you not worry about going to a Kansas City Chiefs game with Taylor Swift? Thank you, Streak 9. I appreciate that. But I thought you wanted to get back to health, but you're not in Indiana. Kansas City's not Indiana. Another flight. I know she didn't drive. Another flight. Another flight. I don't understand it. Rest is the first thing to getting back to health. Rest. Has she rested a second yet? Has she rested for a second yet? Traveling to multiple road games. I guess she could work out at LA Fitness. I guess she could work out at a high school gym. Again, she never rested. She never rested.
Go to Lou and then to Josh.
Right here. I'm just continuing on what Chloe asked. How close are you to that 100% and being able to do the 5-on-5? I don't think we really knew you hadn't played any 5-on-5 up and down the court.
Yeah.
At any time. So
I think that's probably where people struggle to understand at times is there is a huge difference than me standing there and shooting spot shots and running up and down. But in a basketball game, like, I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm planting here, oh, I'm cutting, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. Like, you're just doing it. So your muscles need to be able to react and withstand that type of stuff. So that's where the 5-on-5 becomes really critical. And then obviously the contact piece of it too. Like, you don't know where you're going to be taking contact from, but my goal, it was the end of October to kind of be out there and trying to get back to playing 5-on-5. And I think that's a very reasonable thing for me. And, I've been I've been grinding as hard as I possibly can. And, that's how it's always kind of just been for me. Like, I love the work. I love putting in the work. And, that it's been difficult not being able to, like, see the time you put in, being able to put on your jersey and see it pay off. But I think, like I said, I think it's been a really good opportunity for me to learn a lot about myself and, certain lessons that will probably be really important throughout my career as well.
She wants to play in October. She's at a football game in Kansas City. I mean, okay. She never put on the boot. She never used crutches. Again, the worst ankle injury, ankle sprain she's ever had in her life. I'm gonna stay on that one. She told us it was the worst ankle sprain in her life, and she did not actually rest at any singular point. She did not rest at any singular point. So how do you get better? How do you get better? I understand she's a basketball player. It's the responsibility of a team and their medical staff to not let her play basketball while she's dealing with rehab for an injury and then lying about the fact that she had a sprained ankle too, the worst sprained ankle of her life. Let's continue.
Josh, then Brian.
Hey, Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning.
Steph talked about AB just being the rock of this team. I'm just interested how her friendship helped you get through the rough mental times throughout the season.
I mean, I think it's obviously AB's tremendous. Like, we've always had a great relationship, and that's what exactly you need between your post and your point guard. And she's always been somebody that's been there to check in and pick me up. But I think that goes for our entire team, and I think that speaks for our entire season. I don't think it would be, I don't think we would have had the type of success that we had if it wasn't for the friendship or the empathy people showed one another or the next man up mentality. Like, that was shown across the board in our locker room, whether it was, for myself or whether it was for somebody that came in mid-season and got hurt. Like, it was always the same. Like, you always care for your teammates in the same manner. So, obviously AB was tremendous in that role, and I think she had an incredible year, but honestly, our entire roster really excelled in that area.
AB sucked. AB was the rock of the team. The rock. While getting dusted up by Lee Yaroo. The rock of the team. She needed a hug every game from Caitlin Clark to play basketball. She even gave an air hug to nobody the day that Caitlin Clark didn't go to that road game. The rock of the team. All right. Kelsey Mitchell was the rock of the team. Kelsey Mitchell literally had rhabdo in a basketball game. I mean, if y'all don't know what rhabdo is, that's what they said it was. I mean, it can kill you. The woman played to almost dying potentially if it wasn't dealt with. You can die from that. I mean, I got a question if she wasn't drinking enough water, but Mitchell was the rock of the team. It wasn't Aaliyah Boston. Come on.
With respect to your recovery, looking down the line, have you explored opportunities maybe to play 5-on-5 during the offseason as part of kind of that ramp up so that you're ready for next season and have played actual basketball before things start up again in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always explore every opportunity, and I haven't made any decisions, and I don't know, what that's necessarily going to look like for me. Like I said, there's some USA basketball stuff that is probably my top priority right now that I need to prepare for, and I think that will help me prepare for next season too. But obviously, then you have to prepare for USA basketball in some manner. So that, there's just a lot of different things you got to figure out and balance, and, I'll work through a lot of that too.
We'll go Claire and then Elliot.
With Fever playoff run, Pacers playoff run, WNBA All-Star, NBA All-Star are here, all here in Indy. Tell us what it means to you to play here and what makes Indy so special.
Yeah, I mean, this place is incredible, and I think you've heard so many people talk about it over the course of the last few weeks, whether it's the Colts, whether it's Pacers, whether it's been our players. It's just incredible. It's, in a way, it almost feels like a college, like a university, like all the teams are supporting each other, and like you don't get that in professional sports really, but like you have that here, and I think that just speaks, like I always say, like obviously I'm from Iowa, like Indianapolis, I understand it's a big city, but it doesn't really feel that way to me. Like it's a very close-knit group. Like everybody supports one another, but then you have the professional sports teams, and that's what everybody's most passionate about here. And that's what I love about it. People really show up. A lot of these fans, like these have been their teams since they've been 5 years old. This is all they've known. These are the only teams they've cheered for. And to have this type of success across the board. Obviously, the Colts have had an amazing start to their season, and the Pacers run last year, and then everything we've been able to persevere and, reach the WNBA semifinals. Like it's a really special time in this city, and I can't imagine myself in a better place. And just really fortunate to have made different friendships with different athletes across the city, and just have the support from not only the city but the state as a whole.
We'll go Elliot and then Brad in the room, and then gonna try to jump.
I didn't even hear what she said there. It was about the different teams. It's a college-like atmosphere in Indianapolis. Oh, okay, whatever. Ugh, boring. More puffy questions.
Put a Zoom quickly.
Hey, Kathleen. There.
Sorry.
I'm French, by the way. The Pacers played an NBA Paris game,
Yeah.
and there is also the NCAA games in Paris. How much would you like to see a WNBA Paris game to
I would
showcase
love
your
it. I
talent
would,
in
yeah, I
Europe?
would love it. I would go anywhere and play. I think that would be, as I said earlier, like we're in a moment in time where, the WNBA has never been hotter. There's never been more fans. There's never been more international fans of the game. And that's where you can really grow, is in the international space. And I think the NBA has done a tremendous job of that. And,
Who
I would
fucking
love
cares?
to go play over there.
Who
I think it'd be
cares?
really fun. I think obviously there's quite a few.
Who gives a shit about playing in Paris? Who fucking cares? They let this French freaking fool ask a question about playing basketball in Paris. Who the fuck cares? Where is Copper when you need her right now? To say, why the fuck do I care about that?
Obviously, if it's in Paris, there's some great French players on other teams as well that could make it exciting. Obviously, the Pacers played Wemby over there, and I know they had an amazing time getting to do that. So I would be very open to that. I think it would be, great for the league to, try that out, see how it goes, and I'm pretty positive it would go well. So I would love it.
Brad?
Caitlin, this was not an ideal situation for you.
What would I have asked? Real money? I would have been asking her, why didn't you announce that you sprained your ankle? Why didn't you announce that you sprained your ankle? Why were you traveling on road games when you're in rehab? This is what real questions are. This is what real media does. This is what real media is supposed to do. They actually ask you questions that make you, I don't know, answer them. Who gives a shit about playing in Paris? I want to know why Caitlin Clark sprained her ankle with worst ankle sprain of her life, and she didn't say a word. Her team didn't say a word. I want to know why she was traveling when she's recovering from injury in rehab. I want to know all these things. They're not going to ask these questions. I couldn't give two shits. If Caitlin Clark plays on the moon, I ain't watching it if it's not in the Eastern time zone. I'm not going to watch a Caitlin Clark basketball game at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. You want to go play in France? You want to go play in fucking in Japan and China and Turkey and Africa? You go do it. You're going to lose a truckload of viewers. Yeah, why wasn't she available? I want her to answer these questions. I want her to say it. What are they going to do if she opens her mouth and tells the truth and says, "Well, my team said I couldn't say anything. The franchise told me I couldn't say anything." What are they going to do? Nothing. They're going to cut her? Are they going to trade her? Really? Yeah. When you're the fucking cash cow, when you're the face of the league, you can say whatever the fuck you want. And no one's gonna fucking say a word to you. Because if Caitlin Clark was to say, "I'm out of here," and pull a Kevin Durant, and say, I'm done. Trade me. I'm out of here. Again, trade me. I'm out of here. What do you think would happen to the Indiana Fever as a franchise? What do you think would happen to the Indiana Fever as a franchise? Fuck me. She's not liked by anybody. Like, she wants to be liked by whom? She's not liked by anybody in the league she plays in. Outside of a handful of people. She isn't liked. That's why Nafisa Collier never said a word last year. That's why these women never said a word to defend her last year. Or hell, even this year. Half? They go back to 4,000 fans a game. People would be canceling their season tickets in droves. Their season ticket numbers would plummet. They were averaging 4,000 fans the year before Caitlin Clark got there. If Caitlin Clark said, I'm out of here, trade me, they would lose 10,000 season ticket holders like that. I don't know what riding the wave to the finals is, because if they had won the finals, it would have been a disaster for her public, the view of her from the public. If they had won the championship without her, oh, her stock does this. Oh, they won without her. She ain't that good. She ain't that good. If they were to have won the championship without her, they would have done this off of a cliff. Oh, getting traded wouldn't help her, Arthur? I disagree. Getting traded to the New York Liberty, oh my God. Getting traded to the New York Liberty? Please. She would be the fucking biggest thing on the planet. She would be on that levels of Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. She would be the mega superstar in New York City. If they had won that title without her, her reputation would have gone to absolute shit. Let's continue.
This season, but how much of an element of basketball learning were you able to get in having an extended period to just sit and watch and observe and be in the huddle and almost take on the role of another set of coaching eyes with this group this season?
I mean, it's not what I envisioned by any means. But, you know, I've talked with a few people about this. I think, you know, when I get a few years down here in my career, like, I think this is a moment in a season I'll look back on and be like, this is why I am who I am today. And that's obviously probably pretty challenging to think in that way right now, but I truly believe that. And, you know, it was hard sitting on the bench. I'm not going to lie. There were certainly some hard days, but, you know, I think it taught myself how to be a really good leader and how to be a really good teammate and how to empathize for your teammates in certain situations. You know, when you're in the heat of battle, your emotions are high and, you know, you feel things differently. And I think when you're on the sidelines and you don't have your jersey on, you can observe and really watch people and learn about people. And, you know, I don't think it was so much for me like the basketball. I mean, like, obviously you learn about basketball. That's always how I've learned. I've been a basketball junkie. Like, you watch games, you watch the NBA, you watch college, you just have basketball on. That's the best way to improve your IQ. But also to learn about people and ask them questions and watch the way they operate. And for myself, getting to do that with my teammates, I think is probably the biggest lesson I learned. And just, you know, how can I show up every single day and, you know, pour into them and be there for them, but also, you know, going forward down the road, like if I have a teammate that's injured or hurt or going through a tough moment, like I know I will always show up for them and be there for them and check in on them, because it is an incredibly isolating thing and you don't realize that until you go through it. And, you know, everybody says it, like, but you don't feel it unless you go through it. So I think all of that is probably what I learned most.
What the hell was isolating about it for her? She was with the team all the time. I'm curious. What was isolating about her situation with injury? For most people, yes, I would say it's kind of isolating because you're not with the team. She's always with the team. She was always on the practice floor, whether she was practicing or running against air or just standing there shooting corner jump shots. She was always with the team. She traveled to every road game except for one. So tell me exactly what in the world was isolating about rehabbing for a couple hours a day when you were at the facility and then being on the court with the players. I mean, y'all let me know. I mean, I don't know.
We're going to jump over to Zoom, go to Malika Andrews.
Caitlin, I'm really glad to hear that you.
Wait. They had a Zoom. They gave Zoom links to this? Really? Oh, Indiana. My God, you let me down. You gave Zoom link. I hadn't listened to the interview up to this point. I hadn't listened 13 minutes in. You gave a Zoom link to ESPN. How many times was I asking for a Zoom link? God, dog.
You are on the mend here. I'm not sure how to turn on my camera, so I'll just keep going.
It's all right. I can't
We've heard
see
from
you
a lot of
anyway.
players in the last couple of days that more good leadership, great leadership is what is needed. I'm curious.
Nick, you were out for the year with a torn Achilles. This girl was out with a pulled groin. Are you really comparing a torn Achilles to a pulled groin? Could you even get out of bed for a week? I mean, maybe you could. Maybe you just ignore doctors too. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe you ignore doctors too. She was there all the time. She traveled to games. Did you travel to road games when you were hurt? Most football players don't. Most basketball players don't. You didn't travel. So if you didn't travel, she traveled to 12 road games. She traveled to 12 road games. So if you didn't travel, she traveled everywhere. She was always with her. You were hooping in 4 months. Yeah, you're not a real hooper. We all know this. You're a high school hooper, college hooper. Again, she traveled to every game except for one.
Curious in your mind, what is great leadership? What do you hope happens from here?
Did you practice with your full pads with your torn Achilles? Were you on the field practicing? I'm asking the question. I know you weren't. She was She was there every single day. She just said it. She just said it. She was there every day. She was always there. They didn't put her in they didn't put her in the severance building, erase her memory, and then reattach her memory when she came out. She was at practice every day. This is so dramatic, bro. This is so the mental health of the player. All you fucking whiny bitches.
I mean,
She wasn't a part of the games, Nick. Were you watching? She was cussing out referees more than she did when she played. She was going after referees more than when she played. Oh, she was in the damn game. Do I believe she was hurt? Yes, I believe she was hurt. Do I believe Indiana lied? Yes, I believe Indiana lied. Of course I believe she was hurt. It's preposterous to say you're not going to play a full season or almost a full season. Why would you do that? I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit.
I think over the course of my career, and obviously you always want to become a better leader. And I think I've been around a lot of really good leaders in my life. And I've been very fortunate and able to learn from those people. And I'm trying to learn and grow every single day as a leader too. And I think for me, and I've said this many times, it is all about relationships. And that's the truth. And I know that's really hard to say in professional sports, but
have you ever felt isolated, Nick? Have you ever felt isolated, Nick? You're talking a whole lot of word salad. You're a word salad expert too. I know you. I know you. Were you ever isolated? Did you feel isolated? Was your mental health in jeopardy, Nick? Get the fuck out of here, bro. You care about nothing. I know you. Nothing bothers you. Nothing. Nothing bothers you. I know this.
you know, whether it's a relationship with your front office, whether it's relationship with commissioner of the league, whether it's relationship with your teammates, like that's the most important thing in leadership. Why would my teammates want to listen to me if I didn't have a relationship with them? Like, I think it's the most simple thing, and you have to be very intentional about seeking those out and understanding your teammates. Like, everybody in professional sports comes from different walks of life, and you have to be able to know why they are who they are. Like, I think that's super important, and being intentional about that. So I think that's something I try to continue to improve in my daily life every single day, whether it's obviously, as a part of the Indiana Fever organization, or whether it's as a friend or a family member. Relationships are very important for me as a person. So I would just say, for me, I would say the most important part of leadership, whether that's the WNBA, whether that's corporate America, I think it comes down to relationships and really caring about the people you surround yourself with.
I should have been more specific. That's what you're hoping for from the league office when you say great leadership. You're hoping for that relationship-based great leadership.
Sure.
Get the fuck out of here. I hadn't heard this part. Did y'all just hear Malika Andrews lead her to rip Kathy Engelbert? Did y'all just hear her, Malika Andrews, turn that question into something completely different? She just made that question about ripping. She wanted Caitlyn to rip Kathy Engelbert. This is all fuck shit, bro. This is some of the trashiest freaking media on earth. This is such trash level media. She literally led her to rip Kathy Engelbert. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna replay it. Yes, let's replay that whole question. See if we can get it.
Things from here.
Here, let's go. This is Malika Andrews. She's part of the movement.
On the mend here. I'm not sure how to turn on my camera, so I'll just keep going.
That's all right.
We've
Can't
heard
see
from
you
a lot of
anyway.
players in the last couple of days that more good leadership, great leadership is what is needed. I'm curious, in your mind, what is...
Oh, Malika Andrews basically inferred and implied that Nafisa Collier is a good leader. She literally broke the chain of command. Can you imagine what happened if she did that as a member of the military? The member of the military? If she was a member of the military and said, I'm going to skip all the chain of command, I'm just going to go speak and say what I think, she would be dishonorably discharged and possibly put in jail. Possibly put in prison. I don't know. Military rule is different than mine, than civil rule. Malika Andrews just implied that Nafisa Collier is a good leader. Okay. Crazy.
Great leadership. What do you hope happens from here?
I mean, I think over the course of my career, and obviously you always want to become a better leader. And I think I've been around a lot of really good leaders in my life. And I've been very fortunate and able to learn from those people. And I'm trying to learn and grow every single day as a leader too. And I think for me, and I've said this many times, it is all about relationships. And that's the truth. And I know that's really hard to say in professional sports, but whether it's a relationship with your front office, whether it's a relationship with commissioner of the league, whether it's a relationship with your teammates, like that's the most important thing in leadership. Why would my teammates want to listen to me if I didn't have a relationship with them? Like, I think it's the most simple thing, and you have to be very intentional about seeking those out and understanding your teammates. Like, everybody in professional sports comes from different walks of life, and you have to be able to know why they are who they are. Like, I think that's super important, and being intentional about that. So I think that's something I try to continue to improve in my daily life every single day, whether it's obviously, as a part of the Indiana Fever organization, or whether it's as a friend or a family member. Relationships are very important for me as a person. So I would just say, for me, I would say the most important part of leadership, whether that's the WNBA, whether that's corporate America, I think it comes down to relationships and really caring about the people you surround yourself with.
I should have been more specific. That's what you're hoping for from the league office when you say great leadership. You're hoping for that relationship-based great leadership.
Sure.
She doesn't even have a relationship with Nafisa Collier. She doesn't have a relationship with Nafisa Collier. Caitlin Clark has not built relationships with players in the league. They don't like her. Nafisa Collier never gave her credit anytime last year. Nafisa Collier literally name dropped her and didn't call her to say, I'm going to name drop you. Is it okay? They don't care about her. They don't like her. They'll be happy to go back to the bullshit they had. Think about this for a second. Leadership. Think about this for a second. Leadership. If you're a player making $75,000 a year, $75,000 a year, and you just found out that the owners have offered you a raise to what, 300,000 or 350,000 a season. I'm asking, Ben, do you know the numbers at 350 or something like that? And the top level players are going to go get 850 to $1 million or whatever it is. If you're a player making 75 grand, not a rookie contract like Caitlin Clark, but a player on that level, and you just read that your leaders don't like the offer that gives you a raise by 400%, or 500% raise. Are you kidding? And these people said, no, the WNBA doesn't like us. They don't want to have a relationship with us. The minimum contract for a scrub women's basketball player would have been $350,000 to play basketball, or in their case, largely sit the bench for 4.5 months. For 4.5 months. And Malika Andrews is sitting here talking about these women are leaders. You're getting a 400 to 500% raise. If I'm one of those scrubs, I'm saying to you, you better sign that fucking deal. I don't want to play in China. I don't want to play in Turkey. Because remember, Unrivaled is only for the best 40, whatever their numbers are now. 48. 44 games. 44 games to make $350,000. Yo, if I'm one of those players, I'm sitting here losing my shit. I'm losing my shit. The entire league right now is the entire league right now outside of two players, Kalani Brown and Lexi Brown, who are not in a rookie contract, are all free agents. Every scrub, the scrubbliest of the league. Name me the 11th player on Golden State. Could you do it? I guarantee you couldn't. Name me the 11th player on the Connecticut Sun. Could you do it? I doubt you could. That player would make 350 grand for 4.5 months. And you also and Malika Andrews talking about the leadership of the Players Association. They got great leaders. Shit. Shit. The best players in the league outside of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. I'm not saying Angel Reese is one of the best players. I'm saying outside of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, Sabrina Asia, Brianna Stewart, and obviously Nafisa now because she's getting broken off by the Unrivaled scam. And I did learn a few things about investments into sports that I didn't know until actually yesterday. That these investors will never get money back unless the league sells. Unless they can sell the league, they'll never get their money back. Their money's gone. Unless they can sell the league, you don't get ROI while it's a long. This is what I learned yesterday. It's a long play investment. There's no ROI. You're investing the money, and guess what? You'll get your money and your windfall when the league gets sold. When the hell are they going to sell that league? Who would they sell that league to? For how much? The $340 million valuation? That fake number? Y'all tell me what you think. Leave the comments. I want to know what you think about the fact that if you were a player making $75,000, if you're Odyssey Sims, Ari McDonald, like if you're one of these players, Chloe Bibby, those players are all, remember, those players weren't even in the league. So those players are bottom shelf pay. Those players would make 350 grand. Fucking crazy. I'm not bringing anybody in for calls. Sorry, people.
All right, we'll go one more on Zoom with Maddie Kenny, and then we're going to probably wrap up in the room with Brian.
Hi, I just wanted to follow up on a question that Alexa asked about, what Fee said, the story involving you specifically. And your popularity as a player obviously skyrocketed when you were in college and you had a lot of NIL opportunities and stuff. So I guess when you heard that, like, what was your reaction? Because it came off a little dismissive to your own brand and like your own individual brand power, I guess.
I think that's probably the way in which the league has probably changed over the course of the last few years. These kids and what they're making in college these days is is pretty insane. It's honestly probably more than what I made. Obviously, a lot has changed even since I've graduated. So I'm not 100% up to date on the exact numbers of what college kids are making. But, obviously I was very fortunate after my freshman year of college. That's when I began working with, different brands and began working with Nike. And, everybody knows my first NIL deal was with Hy-Vee, the greatest grocery chain of all time, based in Des Moines, Iowa, baby. So best chocolate long johns around. But, I think that's the way in which, people, young women are coming into this league now with that type of, I don't even want to say it's money, but they're beginning to build their brands in college, and then they're bringing that to the WNBA. So I think that's just a way in which the league has changed and will continue to evolve. And back to my main point, like I said, we are in the biggest moment in WNBA history. There's no denying that. Everybody knows that. And everybody that's in a place in power has a true responsibility. And even myself, we have a responsibility to make sure that this game is in a great place going forward with the CBA and, caring for our players and, building this league to make sure it's in a great spot for many years to come, because you all know I grew up as a huge fan of this league, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this the league that, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, a girl in college is really proud of to come into and to be able to put a WNBA uniform on. And, that's what they dream of. And then hopefully they can accomplish that goal, because that's exactly who I was. And that's, really at the end of the day, I hope.
She absolutely can say exactly what she's thinking. I disagree, Arthur. She can absolutely say exactly what she's thinking. Guess what? Nafisa Collier did. Nafisa Collier had no issue saying exactly what she was thinking. She could say exactly what she's thinking. She's choosing to not say it. And that's on her. She can. She just chooses not to.
That's what my legacy can be, is just how I impacted people to be able to maybe want to be in the WNBA, but to really just achieve whatever they want to achieve. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there on your question, but yeah, that's all I got for you.
Last one with Brian.
Lexi Hall and the way that she kind of found her game a little bit offensively there later in the season. I'm curious what you saw from her just in terms of her development, how she adjusted to the way teams defended her.
Yeah, I think Lexi is, obviously, as you guys know, she's one of my good friends, so I don't really have many bad things to say about her. But every team in this league should want a Lexi Hall type of player on their team. That's just, never once have I seen her be disappointed in the amount she played. And I was here at the beginning of last year when she was getting DNPs. And was the exact same person as she is right now, as, probably she turned into our third option offensively, because, we lost so many players, but also like she embraced that and she worked for that and she wanted to be in that moment. And, I think she's really flourished and her game has improved quite a bit. She's always been such a tenacious defender. And obviously you all know she's had some back troubles throughout the end of this playoffs here. And I'm like, Lex, like, you just play reckless. Like you're gonna like I was holding my breath those last few games, but that literally just sums up the type of person she is. Like she's selfless. Like she's gonna go out there, she's gonna lay it all on the line for this team. There was never a doubt in her mind if she was ever gonna play a game in the playoffs where she had pain. Like she was going out there and she was going to play. There was no question. And that really just sums up who she is. And, we're really fortunate to have her as a part of our organization. And I hope it's like that for many years to come too.
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to speak about Lexi Hull. I don't understand why Lexi Hull is a question in a press conference for Caitlin Clark. I don't know why they never asked the real question. Why did you not tell people that you sprained your ankle the worst of your life? Why did you travel? All these things. I mean, they didn't ask. They want it was puffy bullshit. The fluffery of the fluffery. And her responses were the fluffery of the fluffery. She can absolutely say exactly what she thinks. I don't want to hear that she can't. She is the most powerful player in the league. She is the most powerful player in the league. I'm going to repeat it. She is the most powerful player in the league. She's the most powerful women's basketball player in the world. And she's one of the most powerful athletes in the world. I don't know who Nicole Rance is. Apparently, they want to steal my name and call themselves Rance. I don't know. Does she cuss like me? I'd love to hear this Nicole person, whoever that is. She's the most powerful. She's one of the most powerful athletes in the world. If she decided and changed her mind and said that she would play with Unrivaled, do you understand how that league would explode? It would change the trajectory of that league. Every person who put money into it would be going crazy. The viewership, and I don't care what anybody says here, every single one of y'all would be watching it. If Caitlin Clark said she was playing in Unrivaled, every single one of y'all would be watching it. I'd be watching it. How can you be is that older woman, that real old lady who's like someone's grandma? How can you call it a rant if you don't cuss? How is it a rant? Oh, okay. Whatever. First off, Lexi Hall was not the third scoring option. She was the fourth one. She became the third one because Aaliyah Boston wouldn't take shots. She wouldn't take shots. But she is the most powerful woman in the sport, and she's more powerful than the commissioners. She's more powerful than the owners. I know it sounds stupid. She is more powerful than the owners. No one cares about these owners. If Caitlin Clark said, fuck this WNBA shit, I'm out of here, they got nothing. And if she said, I'm playing in whatever Saudi league and that they're traveling all over with, that thing would explode. I would think it's a bad look personally, but it would explode. If she played an Unrivaled, that would go through the roof. But that was all a lot of word salad. This was all nonsense, fluff, trash. And again, if I had done this video as a video recording and not a live, I don't think people would have watched all of it or even close to more than 15 minutes of it. Because I see all the analytics and all that stuff. So I wanted to do this live because I'm just at the point where it's Caitlin Clark's never gonna fucking defend herself. She's never going to defend herself. She's never going to speak on anything. She's going to give you fluffery and shit answers. But she slipped. She slipped of the tongue and she told people about her worst sprained ankle of her lifetime. And whether or not she's wearing a boot or not, or using crutches or not, she sure as hell was doing a lot of jumping around on the bench when she supposedly had the worst sprained ankle of her life. The players in the league don't respect her. They don't like her. And all she does is protect them. Can you imagine protecting people who don't like you? Who have done everything to fuck you in all types of ways? Pete, you're getting fucking annoying. I'm going to be real. You're getting fucking annoying. You're like really getting a bit annoying. I'm not going to bring you on here to talk. She lied. So she just decided she wasn't playing for 31 games. That's what you're standing on. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. What do you mean two things can be true? Two things absolutely can be true. They're not typically true, but they can be true. Hey, here's two things that are true. I'm fat, but I'm hella sexy. Two things that are true. I'm hella sexy, but I'm fat. Not fat, I'm overweight. Both very true things. I got hella beard game. I got no hair. Both things are true, right? I didn't imply she lied. What the fuck are you talking about? I never said she lied about boss. I didn't say, you're saying she wasn't hurt. I'm saying she lied about being hurt and not revealing that she was hurt. She lied all season about her injury issues. That's why she kept getting hurt. Pay attention, bro. Pay attention, bro. I said she lied by not revealing the injuries publicly. I've said that over and over again. I've never said she wasn't hurt. You just said she had no ankle injury. I absolutely believe she had an ankle injury. What is the benefit for Caitlin Clark to not play? I never said she lied about an ankle injury, Pete. I never said that. The team lied about it. The team did not report it. The team. And they fucking muzzled her, and she's too much of a marshmallow to speak on her behalf. I don't give a fuck what the videos show. I don't care. God, dog, man. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But again, like I said, she's the most powerful women's basketball player in the world. She's the most powerful woman in sports. And if she speaks up, people listen. And when she gives puffery bullshit like that, and the fucking interviewers, the questioner, the people asking questions, don't ask real questions, well, guess what? No one had to ask Nafisa Collier to read her lengthy fucking speech, did they? No. She read it. She came out there with a point, and she was going to fucking annihilate Kathy Engelbert. That was her goal, and she did just that. She made the commissioner of the league look like shit. But it ain't going to help them in negotiations. In fact, it probably made it worse. Because this is the person right there who's sitting here telling you that we turned down $350,000 a year for the scrubs of our league. And almost $1 million. Tell me, who do you think wouldn't get paid a max deal? Sabrina's a max player. Asia Wilson's a max player. Caitlin Clark's a max player. Kelsey Mitchell's a max player. Alyssa Thomas is a max player. Jackie Young is a max player. John Quell Jones could be a max player. Brianna Stewart could be a max player. Like there's so many max players. But the fucking mediocre bums would still make 500. Lexi Hall would make 600 grand. Natasha Howard would make $700,000. And the leaders said no. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like I said, those are the leaders. Imagine me a truck driver, and your management says, "Oh, you're making 80 grand right now, but you're gonna make 350 a year to drive a truck." I know truck drivers make good money, by the way, but I don't know that they make $350,000 a year if they don't own the truck. And the leadership of the union said, we're turning that shit down. We're turning that shit down. We ain't worried about y'all. We're worried about how we get our pockets lined as the leadership, the executive director of the president of the Teamsters, or whatever the fuck it is. Michael Jordan got paid shit until his last couple seasons in Chicago. Like he was making $3 million or so until like his last 2 seasons in Chicago. And I get it. We're in a different time, the whole nine. Inflation hasn't gone that crazy. It's gone wild in certain areas, but it hasn't gone that crazy. Expensive houses were expensive houses. Cars were pretty much the same as they cost today. A Toyota, you could get a Toyota Corolla for 25 grand. You can get a Kia or a Kia whatever, the low level for 25 grand, 20 grand. Yeah, maybe you get it for 15 back in 1996. I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, Arthur, I know truck drivers can get paid. I know the ones that own the truck. But if you just work for a trucking company and they're saying you're a driver, here's $350,000 a year, and you're making 80 or 100. I mean, I know UPS drivers make like 80 to 100 grand a year. At least they did. Maybe it's more now. I'm not sure. Caitlin Clark leaves. If Caitlin Clark forced her way out of Indiana, Indiana would have 4,000 people in that building. Nobody would watch them again. Nobody would care about them again. Like it happens in every sport. When LeBron James left Cleveland, their ticket sales went to dog shit. When Shaq left Miami, I remember I had season tickets. They had people were canceling left and right. When LeBron came, they sold out in like an hour. When he left, people were dumping their shit off. I mean, we're in a market right now where people we are in a recession realistically as a country. We are in a recession. People are getting like high level jobs. You need a master's degree. And they're getting 100 or 200 or 300 applications, resumes per job. Like, you know how hard, I mean, it's more about who you know than what you know. Getting a job today is hard as shit. The power is on the side of the freaking of the employer. This is not an employee market. But the WNBA players think it's their market. And their market exists because of Caitlin Clark, and that woman won't sit up and say a damn thing about these people. It fucking annoys me. It absolutely annoys me. That's all I got, people. I appreciate y'all jumping on board this evening, man. I thank y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. That was the breakdown of this thing. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Caitlin Clark. When she's healthy, whatever. It is what it is. But I got nothing left on this one. I'll be talking about women's college basketball, and I hope you guys enjoy those videos. I'm sorry it was a waste of your time, Arthur. I apologize. I apologize that I wasted your time. I apologize. Didn't mean to waste your time, sir. I appreciate you being here. But that's all I got. Like I said, I'll be talking about women's college basketball. And hope y'all check out those videos because I actually enjoy women's college basketball more than the WNBA. That's all I got. Y'all have a great night. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. All right, come on now, the podcast. Come on now.